That's his favorite thing, and he was project lead for the design of that, and they came out fucking amazing. Yeah. He did Helbrecht himself. He did the Emperor's Champion himself, and I think you can tell like that's what happens when someone really wants.
Yeah, that. I mean, imagine I could whoosh, up show. Feel oddly excited. Welcome to the episode 7 Mini Matters podcast, the best podcast in the world with, without doubt, the fewest listeners.
Yeah. That's the Venn diagram, I guess.
Yeah. If you had it like good podcast with lots of listeners, sure, up there.
Yeah.
But good podcast with no listeners, that's us, and they wouldn't be there, right? It is a special episode today. It is The Journey. Now, The Journey, for anybody who doesn't know, is a thing that we've done once that we were going to do a lot, but we didn't. And it's where we basically go on that person's journey to get to where they are now. But for Martin's sake, we could literally just call it How I Became an Heavy Metal Painter and then everything after.
Yeah.
That's clickbait, right?
Oh yeah, that's a good shout. Actually, yeah. We should use something like that. How to become a heavy metal painter.
Brilliant. Literally follow these steps, and you will become
100%.
Yeah, move to Sweden. So it is
from Sweden. Yeah.
Oh yeah, true. I guess literally. So we will squeeze a thought of the day in, probably at the end. We do have Fast as a Race Car, but it is themed on the journey, and. This is the journey, and then right now I click the button, right, and then it shows like the intro that everybody will know because we've done it so many times. The journey's so popular, so I'll always say this is the journey. Hit the button, and then so that's what we're at now.
Are you doing that now? Okay.
Well, I mean, it doesn't exist.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
but we've got the journey jingle, but I feel like it doesn't actually. This needs to be its own thing.
Yeah. This is exactly. This is a different thing. Yeah. Live story episode.
I just had to check I hit record. While I do this, I will quickly tell everybody. I mean, that's not going to take me that long to get to these notes actually, but we did record yesterday, and it's the first time we have lost a whole episode. So, pour some gin on the floor, whatever it is. Fast as a race car. Fast as a race car. It's, of course, the jingle for Fast as a Race Car, where I impersonate a 4-year-old. Anybody who doesn't know Fast as a Race Car, it's like quick answers. It's pretty self-explanatory, actually. It's 10 questions. We ideally will ask every guest that we ever have on the journey, which will maybe not be anyone else except for me.
And if Jamie seems less surprised by my answers, it's because he heard them yesterday.
It's true.
And remembers them. So, yeah, you might not.
There has been a request that I AI your answers in based on lip reading.
Okay.
As a Chinese girl.
Oh, right. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And then I would probably use AI at that point to change your face structure as well.
Well, obviously.
And your clothes.
Requests of that kind are common in our Discord, which is why I'm not in our Discord. But for the 6 people who are.
I don't remember our background looking this. Maybe that's why.
Did you just
joint? Like mine was cutting a bit, Yeah,
it was. I think a less
aggressive
works better.
I don't remember doing that.
Less aggressive blurage.
You get to see my professionalism is what we do. Right. Fuck the journey.
Fast as a Race Car.
First ever model.
Blood Angels Page.
How do you remember that? There's no Fast as a Race Car. Current favorite color?
Thunderhawk blue, apparently.
Competition or personal?
Competition.
Yeah. Music or TV show?
Music.
Overrated technique?
I'm going to say NMM.
Underrated technique?
Oh, I had a good answer for that. Underrated technique. So my I should have looked this up better, but it's that I think they call it underpainting. Basically, you do like really saturated colors and then you paint over that, and you get. Arnau does it tons. It's great.
Yeah, I can't talk about it. One model you regret selling?
Nothing. I only do like commissions, so they're being sold. It would have been nice to keep Angron. That doesn't really make sense because it's the box art, but that would have been nice to have.
Like if you could steal, then that might have been one painter you admire.
Or now.
I was hoping you might change it. Yeah, makes sense. And display or gaming?
Display.
Yep. And are you where you thought you would be?
Yeah, just about.
Okay.
See, and I think that your reactions there, it was clear that we did this yesterday.
Well, also, you knew what you were going to say, and I knew what you were going to say.
Yeah, a little bit I did. Yeah, it's true. For the listeners, sorry if we seem bored, but that one was like literally yesterday. But it's true. I could have switched up my answer for a painter I admire. I also admire Albert Mertefont. I very much admire Sten Fredin.
He's crisp as fuck.
Yeah, he is crisp as fuck.
And not his painting. Lads. I did have other questions I could have asked you, but I do not want to. So let us set the scene. You are a young boy gallivanting around the world, probably staying at home. Yeah. How did it start? What got you into miniature painting? So
the very, very, very first interaction with like miniatures, I think it's similar for a lot of people, is that I guess I bought or saw other kids have these model kits, like World War II tanks and planes and shit. And I was into that. I thought that was cool. I've always liked models and miniatures of every kind. I think I was at a friend's house. I must have been like 9 or something. And I painted what I think now was like a skeleton, like a Warhammer skeleton. He had like Chaos Warriors as well. And again, I have the image, and now I know what that was. And that was cool. My brother also had Hero Quest, which was awesome. Yeah, it was like we had loads of board games, but this one had these like zombies and orcs and things. I was like, what the fuck is this? So there were all these like impressions of sort of, like these premonitions almost, like I like this, but I don't know what it is. And then a friend of mine in school when I was 15 basically suggested to me like I should check out Warhammer 40,000, and he had Space Marines, and we went to a hobby store, and I thought the name Space Marines was ridiculous because it is. Because
well, Elder
like,
is that better, like obviously the
what is better? Elder, yeah, for sure. Like, and it was like so like what they're like U.S. Marines, but like in space. How like what a basic dumb name that is. I
think I was too young to understand how stupid it was. You had the cynicism of a 15-year-old.
I guess, yeah. And it was a little bit colored by sort of other sci-fi, I guess. I just thought they'd made it too easy on themselves. And now I can really appreciate things like that. Like I love the fact that the original 40K orcs were just, we'll spell it with a K, and they're space orcs. It's literally space orcs. That's awesome. And space dwarves and space elves. But anyway, so I reluctantly was like, fine, fuck it. I'll buy one of the Space Marine boxes, and then I need a paint set. So I'll go with the paint set that has Space Marines in it. And I went home and I painted them red because my friend had done them blue. And he was like, those are called Blood Angels. That's a different. And then I got this.
Of course. Well, it's a good point to show, actually. The Blood Angels, you actually got it out.
Fucking blurry as shit, too. But anyway, you know what it is.
Supplement, isn't it? Right. So hold on. We will jump to the gallery. We are at the gallery. So now, you can see actually what I'm showing.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah. So this is the result of my, the first thing I did. And I got, so it was 5 of these guys in the paint set, and then the multi-part tactical squad. And the first multi-part tactical squad from 98. And this was in early 1999. And so, it went from, I like painting and it's cool to have that very analog hobby to like, I might want to get more of these. I want to buy like a character. And then
so you
a week or two in. Sorry, what?
So you literally got the paint set, got the models. Your mates already played or painted?
No, they were playing. I
Yeah.
had two friends in school who played 40K just against each other. One of them had an Eldar army, the other one had a Space Marine army. They were getting into Battlefleet Gothic as well at the time, which was,
of course,
it just
Battlefleet Gothic, Mordheim.
Yeah. It was a good time for the hobby. Obviously, again, like this is stuff that I kind of pieced together afterwards, was like, where was Games Workshop in early 1999? But it was just after the release of 3rd edition 40K, and they had been playing with 2nd edition rules that they barely understood.
Yeah,
so the way I got into
complex.
the game was, it was just very confusing, but it was also like amazing.
Yeah.
I remember one game, like an Eldar Swooping Hawk Exarch got caught on fire, like a flamer set fire to it, and then it was just flapping around on fire in the game. I was like, that's amazing.
There's more narrative
games like this. Yeah.
The 3rd edition, they dumbed it down a lot, didn't they? But so you got the paint set, you got the models, and you sat down and painted. And what were your friends' reactions? And how did you feel to those reactions? Like,
it's a good question. I think I took to painting immediately. I immediately thought, this is great. I love doing this. I have an affinity for neatness. So the Blood Angel you're looking at now obviously won't really win any Golden Demons today, but it was I was very careful to put the paint where it was supposed to go, like the armor is supposed to be red, nothing else, and I like doing the little details, and I had no idea about things like a primer or
shit.
I guess I can't see any mold lines, but I didn't really know to remove them. It was all just very much like try to get it to look as it does on the box. And again, as it does in the Blood Angels book. So I was flipping through that book like cover to cover every day for weeks, just absorbing it. And it very kind of quickly became my whole life. This hobby was like, okay, this is all I want to do now.
It really is a magical, like when I reminisce and think back at the starting times, we said it.
Yeah.
Obviously no one knows we said it. So I didn't need to say that, but there was an unbelievable amount of freedom and joy in just painting something. Like I've got my models. My dad found them in the loft, and they're similar to this. But it like when I look back and I realized the kind of hole that we've put ourselves in seriousness, and we can go on right to the next things. But the next
but it's a really good point. I mean, and this is then. Later in 1999, they had just released some plastic catachans. I got White Dwarf. They were talking about how cool they were. Colonel Schaefer there on the left from the Last Chancellors. That would have been 99, maybe early 2000. So I got an Imperial Guard army, and I painted them in the Cadian 122nd color scheme, I guess, which was a color variant in the book. And I thought, this is cool. I don't have to do them exactly like they are on the box. I'll do this. I'll do like a city color scheme. I painted a bunch of them, and I played lots of 40K.
Yeah.
And it was very, like you say, it was very, very free. The whole thing, it was just about as much hobby as possible, as much as I could like afford, and just spend time on all the time. I was just very into it, but it was all 40K to begin with. It took me a good year or so to do anything with Warhammer Fantasy.
So Bugman was the year mark, roughly. I mean, what I find interesting is to go back. You're not considering getting better, right? We'll see in a minute, obviously.
I think I was finding every new technique, every small improvement was a big deal. Like I remember when I did the highlights on these Space Wolves. Well, remember is strong. I vaguely remember when I did them. I was like, "Fuck, this looks amazing" compared to the one model previous.
Yeah.
When I started doing shading on the skin of the catachans with like inks and putting on highlights and stuff, because that's what it said to do in White Dwarf, I was like, "Wow, look at the depth." And this was, the literal first time I did that. So that level of improvement from one model to the next is just incredibly inspiring.
I wondered if there's something in it. Like, are we more free when you're young? Yes. And you're not thinking stuff, right? You're just doing it. But you're also seeing such big jumps in early painting compared to now. If you're to sit down and someone's to show you another technique for painting, you're going to be like, the differences are, maybe it's time saving. It's not going to be monumental, right? I don't think.
No.
Only styles can change now, but like, you wouldn't have that same huge jump. And I always think, like, is that what motivated us when we were young? The fact that we could talk to our friends, show them, and then we'd improve and be like, oh shit, look how good I am now to my mates. And we didn't have social media, so there was no online. It was all in person, right? Like,
I've thought about the lack of Instagram, and I mean, that's a whole different discussion. Is like, were we better off when we were 15, 16, 17, not having social media? I would say yes, absolutely. But with the hobby especially, it was for a while, not the whole first few years, but for a while, I would paint a miniature, be super excited of how good it looked, and then, you know, run to the Warhammer store to show the guys who worked there and to show my friends. Yeah. And that was a motivation. Of course it was. I wanted to show it off. I wanted to show people how good I was getting. And then pretty much, I spent like 1 day, 2 days painting something, and then I showed it off, bought another thing.
And so it was completely.
Yeah.
Go on.
No, I was saying it was completely free as to which models I would buy and how I would paint them. That's also something that I'm genuinely like a little angry that I can't do better now. Is just buy one thing, paint it however I want.
Yeah.
Just completely completely free.
Well, that is technically Taskmasters, but we are all struggling with this concept because it's become so alien for us. Obviously, it's not truly part of the journey, but I do think it's shaped it. Like, the youth. So your ecosystem then is your mates, the store, and that's it, right?
Yeah. And there was White Dwarf magazine. I would buy and read. I started subscribing pretty early, and I just got a new one every month, obviously. And I would just digest it, just soak up all the hobby I could get. And the hobby wasn't really on the internet in any way close to what it is now. But even as much as the internet was a thing in 2000 and 2001, there wasn't really that kind of, we would go on to like Portent, which became Warseer and stuff like that. But it wasn't anywhere near what social media is today.
And also, we didn't have the ability to take photos so easily. You didn't.
That's right.
You'd have to have a digital camera. You'd have to put it on your computer. Like,
absolutely.
I remember my made it moment would have been getting something in a cabinet rather than like 10,000 likes or some shit, right? Like,
and it's funny you should say that. It's exactly what we did. My best friend, when I was like 17, we would paint loads, and as a weird kind of like a bar of sort of to be recognized would be to have it in the cabinet of the Warhammer store.
Like that was the pinnacle.
Yeah, that's as good as it could get.
Yeah.
And I remember the first time we did some stuff like for the store. They asked us to like paint and convert some orc bikes for Armageddon. And we spent loads of time in the shop anyway. So they were like, you guys want to do this for us? And we were like hired, but obviously did it for free because they were they were just exploiting us, like child labor is a.
But they'd give you the models and shit, wouldn't they?
Yeah, no, they did probably actually, yeah. But it was like put them in the shop, and it was great. It was just awesome. We did that, and we eventually built like a Gargant as well.
Damn.
But it was just that kind of doing things that someone else wanted you to do, and constantly having the social aspect of other people being impressed by what I did, and how fun it was to play in those big participation games around Armageddon and all of that. That was like a massive, massive point where I made the hobby my whole life.
Yeah, I can relate. I remember going to one of those Armageddon things, and there was like 40 people playing on one table. So you've got a noticeable markup now in quality, I think, right? Like these are starting to look crisper. Whoops. Like, yeah, well, I mean, it shows you the difference. And this is what, in 3 years difference, is it?
Yeah, just about. A little less, actually. This is the White Scar Army was like summer 2001. So I'd been at it for 2 years which now feels like very short time. And at that point, I was like 3 Space Marine armies in, you know.
Fully balls deep into the...
Yeah, and it was very, very like, there were a lot of ideas all the time of things I wanted to do, like build games tables and do another army and another army. And like between these Space Marine armies, I would have done an undead army for Warhammer Fantasy. I started with War Master because, that was a thing in 2001. And there was just a lot of like, that constant involvement. Now looking back at it and looking at all these models, I'm like, wow, I was really into this hobby, like even more than it felt at the time, because I was also in school. Like I had other shit to do.
Yeah, but they look like, I look at these models. I mean, the Elder, which we're going to jump to, is another big jump up. But you can still see these are the markings of a true. You've bought into heavy metal completely because it's all that we knew, right? That was the whole key.
That's right.
And we didn't want to do anything else. We were only aspiring to do that level, basically, right?
Yeah, it's very true. There was an absolutely simple and an obvious pinnacle of painting, which was heavy metal. That was just it. It wasn't a choice then at all. It wasn't something that I thought was a style. That was just the best you could paint. The only kind of exception, I should mention, the only other thing that I was introduced to very early was Golden Demon. And I remember a few people would enter Golden Demon in those years, like Jakob Nielsen.
What, in the UK, right? Obviously.
Yeah. The UK was the only one that mattered to me anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so there were some Golden Demon entries where I guess I could see like this is a little different from the box art style or something, and that was also very, very inspiring. And those became like that. You at that age, I think you're quick to like find your heroes, basically the names of people you look up to, and Jakob Nielsen was one of those for sure. Matt Parks was another one, but he is definitely heavy metal.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is the Elder Army. Now we've jumped to
2007 officially.
2007. And then we discussed this, and I think we agreed that 2006 is when the Plastic Warwalkers and Wraithlord came out.
Yes. The Guardians.
Does that sound right to you?
The Storm Guardians came out later than the 99 normal Guardians. Yep. So these are also similar.
Storm Guardians would have been for the Codex Craft World release in 2002-ish.
The Storm, just right.
2001.
Yes,
yeah. Something like that. And then a few years later, they had more plastic kits and more Aspect Warriors.
And what I noticed is the jump up again, right? The crispness and the time away. You didn't paint much or any at all in those 4 years, but you were just older and able to, I guess, realize more that you need to focus and blah, 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 right?
That's right. And I had those years too. So essentially the people that were into the hobby when I was 17, 18 years old, they left. They weren't super into it anymore. And I didn't feel motivated to continue doing it. I think a little bit, it was just kind of the combination of being older and also having a little bit of a hobby burnout. It just started to feel a little less important to me, and there was a little less of a point. And then coming back to it was when I realized that all I do all day is work, and I like having a hobby where I can sit down and do something with my hands just for myself. And it was really one of those, like, I can't not have this. I can't not be interested in it. And I still come back to like flicking through White Dwarf and just being into this world. So I decided to build an Elder Army of all things. And I did that over, good choice. Of all things you can do. So I just really slowly just painted an Elder Army. It would have been like 2-3 units a year.
Oh, okay. Interesting. So you were taking your time, but you weren't painting every day. Obviously you were painting when you wanted to.
No, it could be weeks in between. So that being rusty is another weird thing where now I notice if I'm working on a project and I do paint every day, I'll get more comfortable. Like, if I'm out of it for a couple of weeks, I feel like, just a little bit like need to remember how to do it. And this would have been, like weeks at a time when I wasn't painting. And then I'd come back, do something, finish a unit, put it on the shelf, not paint for a while. And this Farseer was definitely like the one thing for that army where I was really aiming to push the painting, looking at a lot of current heavy metal stuff at the time and trying to match that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, in not in old episodes. This was I had this army in my radar, so it crossed borders and boundaries. It might have been specific that I was looking for Uthwi Elder. Yes, that's
yeah. Because you mentioned you found this possibly on the GW website or just Googling.
No, I think. Oh shit! Fuck. Googling probably.
Don't have to remember.
What was it? Army of the Month. See if I can find.
Yeah, they might have done something like that. Army of the Month.
Okay. Well, yes. Maybe Googling. Oh, fuck me. I might have even been in the old archives.
All right.
But I knew it enough to save it. Right.
Yeah, that's what it was. You said you had saved photos of my army long before we met.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. Cool. Army of the Month. Right. I can show you. Oh, no, I can't because we're sharing. Oh, yeah. Wait, how are we doing this? We've got the gallery. I'm only sharing for you. Okay.
All right.
Martin Peterson. There you go. Stockholm, GW Stockholm. And I saved this file. This is very, very interesting for everybody. I mean, I don't care. This is what I want to look up. And I saved the file in 2012. So there's your answer.
Oof.
So after
2012, the hobby was kicking off in 2012. Now we've moved. Yeah, I mean, this was when I had come back big time.
So also, did you have a girlfriend when you came back by any chance? Like most people get back into painting when they either settle down, or get married, or. I'm not asking if you're single, but yeah, like.
I was just wondering with the timelines here, what are we talking about? No, but it was, it's a good shout because I did, I lived in Japan for a short while and I came back and for whatever, it was almost like something happened there that I like a bunch of new plastic orcs came out in 2010 and I was just like, man, I fucking like Warhammer. And I went back and I decided to be a hobbyist. To no longer hide. Oh, look at that! Look at these crisp photos. Perfect. It's great. That's that Max Fillet graphic design in the background, by the way.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. I decided to be. Honestly, that's what it is. I was no longer just a small thing that I would do occasionally and hide from the world. I was like, no, I'm gonna actually do this. And around that time, incidentally, I also made friends with Max Fillet, the aforementioned Max Fillet, and Roger Axelsson, and then Sten Fredin. And especially those three we had this kind of little for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles camaraderie,
like egging each other on, improving.
Yeah,
blah blah blah.
And that became and we sort of we all kind of came together around the same time with this same sort of motivation. It was basically Roger had moved to Stockholm. He was good at painting. He liked Warhammer. Max was working in the store and was the only one there that really, really knew how to paint or cared about painting. And I was kind of the one regular who cared about painting and was into that. And I hadn't competed in Golden Demon for like 7 years. And then we met and the store manager.
This is after 2009, is it?
This is in late 2009, actually.
Yeah, okay.
And we anyway, and we met the four of us started hanging out. We started hanging out in the store after hours. So the store closes and they would have like gaming nights. Yeah. And then the manager just liked me and liked Roger and thought we were cool guys. So it was like, you guys can come and hang out. We weren't super into gaming. So instead we would just sit and paint, which just ended up being like a nice table with all of us painting together. Yeah. And that eventually evolved into like a couple of nights every week. And and then Max and myself and two others decided to, Roger too, I guess. Yeah, Roger was there. We decided to go to Golden Demon in 2011. And that was sort of the start of the new Golden Demon career.
Yep. Because now we're in end of 2009 when you started doing these, but this is 2009, 2016. There's a really clear now jump. Like these are basically heavy metal models. Like obviously
they're
crisp,
pretty close.
Sharp, like they're consistent as well. You could and the style is obviously very reminiscent of it. I mean, it is just that style, right? Basically. So at this point, you've not decided or realized you want to work for heavy metal, or is it on your mind?
It was something that I think it was a little bit of a dream when I'd started. So in those early years when I was in school and just painting all the time, I think there was something like, wow, imagine one day if I could be this good and do this. And then when I came back and when I was painting all the time with Max and Roger, we were talking about it as a kind of, first of all, they were much better than we were. That was just a fact. Like we're not this good. So one day maybe we could be on their level, and that would be cool. But they're so much better than we are.
But there was something that happened that maybe made you realize that they're better.
Yeah, there was one specific moment in late 2009. You see, we might have talked about this yesterday. So there was one thing, and it was a little bit related to these Space Wolves, but it's not important actually. It was just that they had the 10th anniversary of the Games Workshop Stockholm store in October 2009, and myself and Max were there. They had for the store anniversary, they had Anja Wettergren, so Anja from the Heavy Metal team, and Jez Goodwin came over as like guests. And they had a little painting competition where you would submit an army and they would pick the best one. And I won that competition, so yay for me. And I got, as one of the awards, I got a Space Wolves like battle force, a little army thing. And that's why I started my Space Wolves army. But the other thing was Anja brought along a couple of heavy metal miniatures. I think Njal Stormcaller might have been one. There was a Skaven miniature as well. And a couple other things. And Max and I, for the first time ever, got to actually like take them out, hold them in our hand, look at them properly. And I remember both of us really understanding like, oh, it's that fine. It's that good. We'd seen our stuff. We could literally compare them, and I could have my Space Wolves and look at their shit. And I was like, this is very, very good. And the photos don't quite show how smooth and how clean and how perfect everything is. And that was a real light bulb moment, I think, for the both of us. And I guess it sort of inspired us in like slightly different ways. It wasn't just, oh, we have to up our game. It was just kind of like, this is
like what's achievable almost, or
and this will help us kind of inform a little more when we see photos of things, like what it actually looks like. So it was an interesting sort of calibration of what the heavy metal miniatures actually look like in hand. And it's interesting to hear people now when they go to Warhammer World say, "Oh, I had no idea it looked like that," but you would have some idea.
No, but it's different. It is always different. I think when you see it in real life, it's really true.
And I mean, I was there a week ago for the first time in a few years, and it was even the same for me. I was looking at some of the new releases, the Red Corsair stuff, and I thought, "Damn," because I'd only seen photos of it.
Yep. So
that was
doesn't make sense.
Yeah, exactly. And when we finally had it in our hands and we could see like this is what's up. So then we
look at that. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's from the shop, from the Games Workshop Stockholm store. That's all the Eldar, I think. Yeah. Where it says hobby showcase, that was part of another thing that we started doing at the time, which eventually became our blog, Stockholm Warpaint. And this is the same group of people that I was talking about. It was myself, Max, Roger, Stian. Eventually, Patrick Sand, Philip Hawking joined that. My friends Jonathan and David were in there as well. But it was really just us wanting to do a bunch of cool hobby things together. And the hobby showcase was this kind of idea of we would do, well, in this particular example, we all paint one Space Marine and we show them off to show like different cool ways you can paint Space Marines. And we did that with a bunch of new kits that came out.
I don't understand how your store is so popular. Like, maybe I was too young or something, but like my local Brent Cross, it took me an hour to get there on the bus. Like, I remember there being like two locals and then one other local who was like, was he a pedo? He definitely liked the hobby, but like there was something shady about him. Like, even back then I was like, this guy's weird. But I don't. Yeah, it must have been my age because I was 14. Like I didn't have this social group where you'd all go back and stay and paint, and you know what I mean. Like, so it's pretty good that you had it. Like having.
Oh yeah, no, it's insane, and I know that it's very unique. I've heard a lot of people say this, and I don't think it can be really overstated how much of a difference Baz has made to all of our like hobby lives. So Baz Morrison was the manager of Games Workshop Stockholm. I'm not going to guess the years, but it was for about 8 years or so, and it was during this time. And he's now the manager of the Warhammer World Store, and he's amazing. And he is like the best manager for Games Workshop stores. I know they used to send him to places that weren't doing too well, and then they started doing well. And he was like he's a lovely guy and very social, but he just had this ability to like bring people together, and this was like the best example of that. He just kind of allowed us to come in and do all this cool stuff and do it under the Games Workshop Stockholm banner. And we then like inspiration, motivation, creativity, and excitement all just comes automatically. And that's really what happened here. Like we had this lease to just do a bunch of cool shit, and we did for several years, and that also helped spur on this. Like we helped each other get better. So this was also when we started getting interested in Golden Demon, and Max and I went to World Model Expo eventually, and so this whole world kind of opened up.
Okay, so you've got we've done early. Yes, you started in 99, 2003. Then you took a break for 4 years. 2007 to 2009 is the Elder Army, which you just blood. Space Wolf Army was a long one, 7 years apparently. 99.
Apparently, I guess.
But
sorry, when did I say that was?
2009 to 2016. But you've got lots of Golden Demon entries, which we can go over now. Yeah, I did loads of other stuff in those years. Yeah, let's do that. We won't do them all, but we can do. Hold on. Okay, so this was your first Golden Demon entry.
Yes, and this was the third time I entered. The Bugman that you saw on the first few miniatures, that was the first thing I entered into Golden Demon in the year 2000.
You travelled all the way to the UK?
Just for Bugman. Yeah, I did. And that was me and my best friend at the time, Henning, who was also a huge hobbyist. We both entered some random crap, and then the year after, we both got finalist pins, which was huge.
Shit.
I'm a little more arrogant when it comes to finalist pins these days. I don't really register them, but at the time it was great. And then I won something in 2002, and it was huge. And I really kind of, that was like this massive hobby nourishment.
And that was this model then, was it?
That was this, yeah.
And so this is a Golden Demon winner.
Yeah, I got a bronze. Got a bronze in 2002. The dual category was pretty new at the time.
I see.
They had just started, and I thought, what a cool idea. Let's go for that.
2002. Jesus. I was 17. Okay. 16, actually. Because
I'm pretty sure
Golden Demon is in April normally, wasn't it?
Oh, no, you're right. Your birthday is quite late, isn't it? No, Golden Demon, this was in like September.
But wasn't Golden Demon early? Oh, fuck it. Yeah, maybe. I thought it was.
Not at the time. It was in September, early October. Yeah. But anyway, that's and another fun thing that happened with this, just as a side note, they used to do winners' days, and now they've completely stopped, and they actually did one in 2019. But they used to do winners' days back in the day, which was like they invited all the winners, everyone who won something, to Warhammer World, and they gave you a tour around the studio, including like into the miniature designers in heavy metal, just like to see what they're doing and hang out with them and see all the new stuff. And then they gave you a bunch of free miniatures. Damn. Which when you're 18, it was like working there is very much like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, but that was like literally that. You came in and was like, look at all this cool shit. And I came home with a lot of excited information to my friends about what was coming.
Well, it's really cool to give leaks out like that because there's no photos or social. You're not worried.
Yeah, no one.
It was word of mouth, right?
Yeah, and it's so funny. They didn't give a fuck at the time, and I can't remember anyone really standing there like writing things down. We just all went home. It was like, yeah, there's a bunch of cool stuff coming.
It's just basically the meme of there's no phones anywhere. So congratulations on your bronze, by the way, in 2002.
And then there was a little bit of a jump.
Yes.
Yeah, this is literally 10 years later.
Shit.
And the next thing I won was a silver, which was very rewarding.
So you do like Space Wolves? I
do. And I was reminded recently of how similar this unit is to the one I did last year.
I was just about to say it. Yeah, even the same color with the black fucking librarian. Although he's maybe not a librarian, I don't know what he is, lieutenant or whatever. And you've added a wolf in there. One question not related to how do you do these bases? Because this is what I've wanted to do as a kid forever.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say
this is what we did before the rules were rewritten to say that you could just put them all on one base. Yeah,
they had to be because they had to be on their original bases before.
Yeah, exactly. And the good thing about this, I will say, and that's still true, is like the judges can just take off each miniature and have a look at them separate.
I know it breaks the immersion, but I do somehow I fucking like it. Like in my head, like when it's a unit or something, you're not trying to tell a story. This still makes sense because you're really reminded, oh, it's a unit.
Yeah.
But then again, you get units who are like Tony's unit.
The funny thing is as well is there was a really I don't know if it started as this is my Wolfguard unit for my army, I should enter the Golden Demon, or if it was I have to make my Golden Demon entry game legal. But I actually played loads of games with these guys.
Shit.
This is just from my army, and honestly, like the quality isn't that much different from the army stuff. So I entered my Wolfguard unit and Wolf Priest, and also a Dreadnought from my army, and they both took something away from Golden Demon. So that was very cool.
What are you doing?
Kind of says something about Golden Demon in 2012.
This level. What are you doing in the meantime to like improve? Are you focusing? Because really, I guess this whole thing should have been me trying to get information out of you how you became the heavy metal painter. But like
that's what the listeners want. Yeah.
Yeah, but I haven't really focused on that. Like, are you conscious at this time to improve? Like, has your mindset changed at all? Are you still as a kid, or are you much more? It's not cynical at all, is it really? But like, I want this to be perfect. I want this to be.
Yeah, this is every. Yeah, it's much more meticulous. It's much more about being perfect, as you say. It's, I guess, cynical in that sense of like not being as free, not being as crazy with conversions and ideas. I mean, this unit has way more conversion work than the one I did last year, and I think a lot of that is just down to allowing for things to not be as perfect and as clean. I was definitely with every single thing I painted. I mean, like, not just a model, but like this head should be better than that head should be better than.
Yeah.
And there was a constant strive to get better. And there was that at that. I know for that year, definitely, like me and Stian and Max were painting until about 1 a.m. every night for like 2 weeks before we went to Golden Demon. Me and Stian would take like the night bus home, and it was just this constant drive to. From what I remember, it wasn't even competitive against each other. Like me and Stian both entered the squad category, and we were like, "Yeah, I hope I win something, but I definitely hope he wins something too." And like I could see the stuff they were working on. I thought, "Wow, that looks amazing." So it was a great, almost collaborative process, and we would constantly ask each other for feedback and for like, what do you think I should do with this? And so there's a lot of stuff where I guess it would, color choices and markings and things might have been one of their ideas. So that was a really great time to do this as well.
It's like a big Swedish sex party, but the sex is
exactly like that,
basically.
Yeah,
I can't see any differences. Like it's cool. It's slightly envious. I'm thinking about it now. Like did you get, or was it because you had these people around you that you're able to always push yourself and stay motivated? And because you know, I didn't know anybody when I painted ever, like until I was, well, in fact, I don't even know when the fuck I started meeting people. 5 years ago, 6 years ago. I'd never really spoken to anybody who painted, because everyone in the store was painting and they were like, yours is good, but they didn't really care, and I didn't, you know.
Yeah.
And I think having those people keep, it's not grounded, but they force you, like you say, you have to improve because they're improving, and you don't want to be left behind, right? And
it's honestly, it's very much like, you know, now sometimes I go to the gym like everyone else, and then I mean, I think anyone can recognize the difference of going by yourself and trying to motivate yourself, and then going to the gym and you've got so many sets and so many reps to do and so much weight, and you're like, fuck, I'm tired, I'm just going to go home. Whereas if you're there with someone else, especially if someone is like expecting you to show up, you're going to show up.
Yeah.
And if they're going to stay and do another couple of sets or do another exercise, you're probably going to do that too. And it's exactly like that, really. Like the fact that we were there until 1 a.m. is because we were there together until 1 a.m. There's no way I would have just stayed up until, like, I have a full-time job. I have to be there at 9 o'clock and I'm going to sit and paint until.
Exactly.
No.
Yeah.
So it was really that, was just constantly like doing this together and having the same kind of commitment. That made a massive difference.
Yep. I can see why, and I think everybody should get that and stop being on social media. So where are we? Do we have another one from This Is Golden? So are we getting close to 2017?
Yeah, we've this is not entirely in order. Now we're on to 2014, but
brilliant. Then we're fine.
There was a couple of things in between here, but yeah, I did 4 entries for 2014, and I won a single bronze. Oh, this is 2015. This is the good stuff.
So you're getting closer now to heavy metal, right? Crispness and joy and happiness. I interestingly would have thought you improved a lot at heavy metal. We'll get there when we get there, right? But yeah.
Yeah, we get there when we get there. And I think I can sometimes feel a little bit of a disappointment in not just like, why isn't the quality going up further, but also this creativity that we were talking about. But anyway, that doesn't matter. So this is where I'd gotten to, like, again, there was a bar, there was this level that I was trying to reach in terms of finesse, smoothness, fine edge highlights. It was just really that. It was just technique and finish.
Yep.
And now I'd gotten to the point where like heavy metal painters were seeing my work at these events and were like, wow, this is really fucking impressive.
Yeah.
Which of course was a huge deal for me. I was over the moon to get that kind of recognition. And now, like, who gives a fuck what they think, you know?
Yeah, fuck those guys.
Different person now.
Is this still? I don't know where to stop.
That's right. This is 2016. This is really good. Like the base is weird, but the model is fucking awesome. I almost thought about bringing it again last year because this paint job is sick.
I like the base because it's like
stuff.
Obviously, it's the pavement, right? But a part of me also likes to imagine it's a wall from a shower.
Yeah, I feel like it should have been a proper brick wall, and instead it's like tiles, like floor tiles, like terracotta tiles.
But that's cool, no? I think it's unique.
It's all right. It's all right. I don't know what kind of effect it's really selling, but it's it's all right. It's pretty cool. The colors work with the Space Wolves.
Exactly.
But this I like. And then I didn't win anything for this. And then the next one I think is this, which I did win a silver for in the 40K single category. And this was again where I was able to compare this to the heavy metal one, and like Darren Latham painted one of his own, and I was starting to see that, like, yeah, I'm actually kind of there now. Like I've reached quality wise, I can do heavy metal paint jobs. And this was also crucially by this point, Max had joined the heavy metal team, and I had like a person on the inside in terms of comparing my own work and also learning more about what the job was like. Yeah. And my sort of idea of really I shouldn't work with my hobby because then I'm going to grow tired of it was eroding. And I was realizing that actually it's probably pretty fun.
And it's in another country. Okay, so we'll jump back now. So this is now the heavy metal starting, right? So how did you get the job? And we already kind of know why you got the job, because you loved it. But around just like how do you become an heavy metal painter, basically?
Well, it's changed a little over the years. So when I joined, there wasn't like specifically then. I think before and after they've had trainee miniature painters, and now they've changed that word to associate miniature painter, because it sounds more like you work in a bank. But at the time, there was no position like that. It was just you joined, and then boom, you're working. Basically, they didn't hire a lot of people for a couple of years, so they had an opening. I found out about it through Max, and at that time, I was good friends with Aidan Daly, and basically had that kind of a foot through the door. They knew who I was. I knew about the job. I put together a little portfolio of my favorite paint jobs, and I wrote a really good letter. And I write good letters. And then I got an interview. I think I must have done one interview via video chat, and then they invited me over, which felt very cool. They paid for like a hotel, and they met me in person. I got to sit and paint with some of the guys, and I believe we were 2 or 3 applicants at that time. They narrowed it down, and they wanted us to sit with the team and paint with them to see who was cool.
Did it feel brutal?
Yeah. It did feel not so great. From what I remember, my work, the painting that I did on that day was not the best. Even among that group, it was not great. But they felt like the social, the
team fit, I think it's called.
The team fit, yeah. Which was, of course, and this is something that Max pointed out very early, was like, oh, you remember all that time we spent sitting around the table painting together?
Yeah.
That's
paying dividends now. Yeah.
Yeah. So this, what we're looking at right now, is the very first, go back.
I'll go back, yeah. I'll go back. Leave it with me.
This is the very first box art that I did, which was back of box. We would always differentiate between front of box and back of box for obvious reasons.
Cool. So and this is, and you're feeling any kind of pressure at this point? Are you worried? Are you like,
massive pressure?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Like
this was,
And obviously before you've worked by yourself and got feedback from your mates or whatever, and what's happening now in the studio, is it someone's telling you how to paint, or they just give you the models and they're like, you just fucking do it?
No, this was another
recipes.
Yeah, this was another thing that I realized, and which takes a lot of that pressure off, and that's definitely even more so the case now, is that there's a ton of R&D before any project, whatever it is, even a new Ultramarine squad. There will be loads of preparation and recipes, method. Like if there's any new part of that model, like this model has a new gun, what do we do with that? It's never going to be down to like one person to just figure that out. So with these guys, I think this color scheme was already done in Photoshop, and Max, I guess, had written down recipes for all the different parts of these models, everything. So I think maybe the golden medal didn't have recipes, but like the blue, even the little purple tassels, all of that was written down how to paint.
Shit. It's a bit like that bloke who made that special music and he was deaf.
Beethoven?
Yeah, like Max was doing this without painting himself. But
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Like, did it? I mean, you probably knew this already, right? Because Max would have told you that's how the heavy metal team paint. But didn't you feel that your creativity was getting eaten away, or you're just like, do you know what? I'm so happy to be here that it doesn't matter.
It's a really good question. I think a little bit you feel like having all of the questions answered takes a lot of the creativity out. But because there's always going to be an opportunity to be that person yourself, to develop those recipes and to come up with that, there's always room to be creative anyway. And I think with some models that would come like with that project, you know what I mean? So the next thing after this might have been something that didn't have everything written down, or
Angron or some shit, right?
Yeah, Angron would take a while to work up to, but yeah, exactly. Stuff like that would come along, and I said, week 2 of working for heavy metal, I was like, if you guys, if we ever do Stitches of Battle again, I want to be part of the development of that.
Yeah.
And they said, well, yeah. And then soon enough, I started seeing some early Sisters mock-ups, and I just said, like, put me in, coach.
Because I think that's one thing that I never, until we started talking, like really grasped, was the whole concept of if you're interested and you push for it, you will probably get that project, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Angron was one of those where I realized that, I just knew that if I tell them I want to paint Angron, and if I tell them I don't want to paint anything else, if I just make sure that they understand that, like, I'm okay with missing out on everything else, just give me this one thing. And they were like, yeah, done, cool.
Yeah.
And you show that you can meet your deadlines and that you can collaborate and that you can develop all these color schemes and stuff. So yeah, there's loads of space in that work to be creative and to paint for what feels like yourself, if that makes sense, to paint stuff that you actually want to paint the way you want to paint it.
Which I think is a really good natural thing to allow the painters to do, because then you get that, get that energy. You work late probably without realizing it, maybe, and you know it's a great way to suck extra energy, joy out. No, not suck the joy, energy and hours and out of people. I think the downside is you get a situation where clearly no one liked Blood Angels, and the sculpts are shit and the paint jobs are shit, and
clearly,
but really, if you look at the differences in some of the projects, you can see there's love in one and not in the other, right? I think that's probably
it is true. I don't actually know anything about the Blood Angels release. I'm not just being diplomatic. Like, I don't know who did that or why or what happened. I know there's people in the studio who absolutely love Blood Angels, but I know that there's been a few projects where one designer will be absolutely in love with a range or a part of the background. Like I've said before, Maxime Courbet and Black Templars, that's his favorite thing, and he was project lead for the design of that, and they came out fucking amazing. He did Helbrecht himself, he did the Emperor's Champion himself, and I think you can tell, like, that's what happens when someone really wants that.
I mean, imagine I could help design the Elder, the level I'm going to go towards it, right? And my
exactly, like how much you're going to commit to that, and it's really good. I mean, there's nothing weird or complicated about that. You have someone who really cares and who loves that stuff. I got to help out with the Sisters, which, to be fair, wasn't that much development work. We had loads to go on. It was more about, like, writing down the recipes and figuring out what we wanted to, like, codify in terms of, do they all have white hair, stuff like that, and then just all the different versions of the new troops and stuff. But I still really love that side of Warhammer 40K.
Well, I think
it helps.
Yeah, I see it as a general positive, and some small stuff slips through.
Yeah,
basically.
So at this time, what I did with this folder, just for the people looking at these photos, I just put in a bunch of stuff I painted, including what I thought was some favorites, but I realized I forgot some favorites. So this is a color variant that I did for the Sisters of Battle.
So I remember well.
Always in love with the Sisters. I think the first photo would have been the Gene Stealer Cult Aberrants, which is still one of my favorite paint jobs that I did.
Very good. I didn't realize they were that old, as it were. They look like they came out yesterday.
The Aberrants.
Yeah, they just look. I just don't see them, I guess. I'm not used to seeing.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
That's a better way of.
This is another cool one.
Yeah, I know that one well as well, from my wargaming days with TTS, where they've scanned.
Oh, nice.
Basically, the models from the website.
Grimaldus and his brain dead homies from the Black Templar range.
I feel sorry for them, really.
I think they're living a good life.
Oh, maybe.
They don't have to code all day. And this is the second kit that I worked on, which is also Idoneth Deepkin. And these were...
It's interesting you've stippled the breast. Have
I?
It looks like...
Oh, yeah. I tried to make it smooth, which was a point of contention in heavy metal, blending.
In my mind, you normally wouldn't be afforded such time like to do. I can't get the mouse up there. Like
That's exactly right.
So how did you manage to get the time to do it? Just did it quicker?
Working evenings, and maybe I saved some time with the other parts. I think I just committed to making these good, because it was like a couple of my second project ever, so I was like, I'm gonna do this. But it sounds weird that you would spend this time like arguing with people, but it really was a whole thing with like blending cloaks and fabrics. Like, no, we do edge highlights down the length of a leg. And I was like, no, that doesn't look right. It's stupid.
How are you arguing with these people? Like when you've got no...
Mildly.
Yeah. Like
they're all British, and it's very
as well, right?
Introverted nerds. Yeah, it's all... I mean, we discuss, right? And when it comes to things like, you can't spend too much time blending. You're like, it's fine. I'll make it work if it's just something I'm doing.
Yeah.
For myself, I mean, I'm the only painter. We saw some Leagues of Votan just then. That was also one of the projects where I did some work with the development, along with Max and Connor Richardson, which was amazing. There's another one of those things where, like, we've talked about squats as a joke for like 25 years. They were just like, no, they're not going to come out. And then all of a sudden it's on the horizon. And I was like, I really want to help out to make this happen. And
which is all leading up to this.
Yeah, so which was essentially
This is your like, I don't know, Terminator 2 from the like, this is the big cheese, right? You didn't know it would be so difficult or a bigger project, or you had an idea, or you like, why would you take this project on?
I honestly, it was a little bit like, I was really afraid of it because it was going to be so much work and because it was so important. I was very intimidating, but that was also something where I was like, look, I just can't be a pussy about it. I just have to say yes, agree to do it. And then if it sucks, it sucks. Like, I'm just going to push through. And I did paint this remotely, which was also weird. I painted this, this was at the kind of tail end of the pandemic lockdown in the UK. And so I was painting this from Sweden. And
what's the process here? Like, you have meetings before, you say, I want to do it, and then they have some Photoshopped ideas, or they...
And I did some Photoshop ideas, and they did, which is another thing that, I mean, it's not particularly interesting to share, but sometimes they will 3D print a version of the miniature you're going to paint at 50%.
So small.
Yeah, so half the size.
I see.
And the reason then is that you can quickly block in colors to see what they will look like.
You can literally do sketches on something, because Photoshop would have been on a 3D model image, right? Because you wouldn't have had the thing printed, I guess. Photoshop.
What do you mean?
So Photoshop, like in my head, I take a picture of this miniature, and then I Photoshop over it. Obviously, yours is 3D print sculpted, so you wouldn't have had but you're obviously printing it. I see now. And then
and it's both. So I'll do a Photoshop sketch on just a photo or like a render, but a 2D image, and just to get some ideas of. In this case, a lot of it was like. A lot of the questions were answered before I started. We knew he was going to have brass armor. He was going to be red. It's very unlikely that the wing membranes are going to be any other color than black. A lot of that stuff was just, it's probably going to be this.
Yep.
I knew that his sword was not the like official black blade, but it was it was going to be a black sword. That would look cool. So it's stuff like that. That's sort of just, I'll do this, and then I'll try others. If there's any variation I can try, just to have tried it, just to show off, like, this is what we're not going to do. So I think I might have done a couple other versions where he had, I don't know, black armor or something, and we just immediately was like, nope, we're obviously not going to do that. And then when you had that, I could start with this 50% 3D print. Just
that would have been cool.
Again, to sketch some stuff out.
You should have kept
that would have been cool.
Should have kept that.
That would have been cool. And then this one, I remember, was quite sympathetic to sub-assemblies, and I just painted so much of this in parts. Like all of the armor I just painted separately and did a bunch of airbrushing to get the metallics down. It was pretty straightforward, honestly.
It looks intimidating in the size of things and the small bits and just all the pieces, right? And it's what I've realized a little bit is most of these large scale things can't, they lean a little bit away from heavy metal, and by that I mean like there are shadows and there are emphasis on different parts of the model. I feel like everything is painted though. You can see everything, but like I feel like his face, you've done a good job on highlighting the face over, and the highlight. It might just be the photo. I don't know. You told me, but yeah.
No, thanks. I think there's a little bit of room for anything that's like organic to move away from, not move away from edge highlights, but yeah, just to make it a bit more blendy and to work a little bit more with directional lights and stuff like that. So yeah, sure. There's
if you want it,
there's always that mix of styles.
Yeah, well,
you want to try to make it as interesting as it can. But and yes, it's true with bigger models.
Like if you fully did the same that you do on a 28mm Space Marine, I think it would be harder to digest.
And I think as well, one of the things with models like this, which is really one of the most fun things about them, is there's just one Angron. There's no squad of Angrons. So whatever little thing you do with him, it doesn't really affect anything else.
It becomes the basis of what Angron looks like, right? Basically. Yeah,
and it's just it doesn't affect anything else. So like I when I was working on this, I also did like the development work for the World Eaters, and all I did was I painted one Berserker, and I got like, here's the red armor, here's the brass trim, done. And that's just how someone else is going to paint loads of Berserkers, and then I'll do Angron. And if I decide to shift the tone of the skin or add more verdigris to the shoulder pad or something, then that will happen. And some of that work was actually done by other people in the studio after I was done with it. I should mention.
Bastards. And so what's the feedback then? You're painting along, like, let's pretend it's not remote then, just for ease of thing. You're in the studio, you paint along. Does an art director come in and say, oh, this is wrong, this is what we want it to go this way? Like, how does it handle your egos, I guess, as painters? Do you suddenly realize you're painting and you just have to do what they say? Or
it's a really good question. I think there's it really depends on the feedback. I think an art director coming in and saying this is wrong will very rarely happen, but it's not completely unheard of that someone might come from another department, or I don't know, a question might come down from on high about what something looks like where it goes against the IP or something. Most of the time you just have to like roll with the punches. I think feedback from the rest of the team will most of the time will be something like, this rivet needs picking out with some clearer shadows. This could do with an extra highlight. You've missed the bullet casings on this gun or some tiny thing that you've
it's not like, oh, I don't like the direction. I think the
no, exactly. It's very rare that it's general things,
because you've hashed all that out in the planning process, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. And I've had that happen where someone thought this thing should be a different color, and we had to talk about that. And it was like, I don't think it's going to look good. I don't think it's going to work. I think it'll clash with this other thing. And honestly, I'm not just saying this. I 100% think those conversations are for the better, because then you get to answer those questions, and you become more secure in the decisions you've made.
Yep.
And like you feel like the team is all kind of behind everything.
It's literally been signed off at that point, hasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And it gets signed off. It's been so that collaborative process is difficult for the ego, but very helpful. And most of the time, everything I did, I just felt like this isn't mine anyway. I'm just trying to make it as good as it can be for the project. And like, if someone has a terrible idea, then in all likelihood, I'm not the only one who thinks it's terrible.
I realize it's much more company orientated. It's the same with me in coding. I'm not going to get defensive or possessive over something I've coded. If someone wants to rewrite it, just fucking rewrite it, or blah, blah, blah. Painting obviously is slightly different because, well, it depends on the code, but generally,
I think that's a really good analogy, actually. Honestly, like you're cooking in a restaurant and you're like, I want to add more chili to this. Like that's not what the recipe calls for, though. You should probably just do it the way it's meant to be.
Yeah.
It's a little bit. It sounds maybe cynical, like, oh, you can't make your own choices, but Depends on why you're doing it. And the actual like putting the brush to the miniature and putting paint on the miniature is it is a part of it. It's not the whole job. And I think every other part of the job was really fun too, getting to like develop new stuff.
Yep.
So this is one of two things I did for the Leviathan box. This guy was really fun to work on, even though it's just another Ultramarine. There's enough weird things going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another sister color variant.
Yes. Cheeky.
And that's the Aberrants again. Yeah.
Oh, wow. What? How did we go from like 16 to 25? Did we do 25? I don't think we've seen these, have we?
We might have rattled through them quickly before, but yeah, this is all just stuff I worked on. And I didn't really put these in order. It's just a lot of random projects.
It is funny though, seeing, because I see these models a lot from playing the game. They are literally scanned and in the models
in the TTS, yeah.
TTS. So it's quite funny to see that you have directly influenced my opinion on models. The Sister of Battle is a style I actually wanted to replicate. Because I liked it, but then I was like, "Fuck!" It's like, oh man, it's just not easy. It's not as easy as you think, basically.
No.
And that realize that's annoying when you realize that. You know, like I'm gonna have to put time in, basically.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. You know, I think that slowly I'm realizing as well, like why the other style is appealing as well. It is literally because it's faster.
Yeah.
It's not just
It can be, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the irony is I've learned now that I spend longer trying to make decisions than I do painting. Do you know what I mean? Like, where does this fucking light go? Where does this... That's what I'm spending my time and then doubting and just diving into a pool of shit. Compared to like this stuff.
No, but I can very much sympathize with when I was talking about sketching and doing it quickly and getting like a lot of the rough light placement down. I get why you would want to do that to get anywhere as opposed to spending 2 days like base coding.
Yeah, but at least
and especially
how.
Yeah.
Sub-assembly, I mean, that I can't do that.
And especially with sub-assemblies, because with sub-assemblies, you can't see how you're doing, actually. You can't see how good the miniature is going to become. You need to kind of trust the process. And also, in some cases, just have a Photoshop sketch.
I mean, that's an amazing... To be able to do that and get no, like, reward.
Yes.
Because you're not, right? You're looking forward to the moment when you get the reward. And that's what's motivating you, thinking, oh, shit, I can't wait to put this together.
Yeah.
So you did a lot of the Votan then, basically.
Yeah, I did. I did 10 Hearthkin, probably, the regular dudes. And then these guys, the Hearthguard, I did the Hearthguard Champion. And I did... that'd be it, right? I think that was it. I
can't help but see the bullets come out of whenever I see a chain gun on a Space Marine.
Nice.
A question off topic about, I mean topic, but not topic. Who designed, or no. Why did they design, still a bit leading, those little midget guys, what the fuck are they called?
Watchers.
No, these guys. Votan.
The Votan.
So the Votan. Why did the trucks look like toys? Yeah,
I guess they were like inspired by Moonlanders. Maybe
I wish they weren't. I hate them, but that's just one man's opinion, and you don't. Yeah, I wish. Yeah,
you wish they looked differently.
Yeah, I do. I like most of the stuff they do. I
wish I'd painted Azrael's head better. I feel like he looks shocked in a bad way. He looks like he doesn't know what's going on.
What? Because it's. What part don't you like? Interesting.
The face, just the face.
Yeah, but what about like just his?
I think he looks like he looks dumb, like he's just shat himself or something.
I was going to say I think he looks like he's got a finger up his ass, maybe. But
yeah, there you go.
Isn't that like the sculpt?
I feel like it isn't. I think the sculpt's pretty good.
I see.
Anyway, I'm not here to critique.
Yes, of course. It's all in the past now, eh?
Yeah, it's all in the past.
But this isn't that long ago, right? So you've done a lot of models that Yeah, this is N&M.
This I painted in May 2018.
Shit, ages ago.
Yeah, that's a crazy model as well. This is one where when you see this completely unpainted, just the resin, you're like, whoa,
shit. Yeah.
What am I going to do now? But then
that almost looks like a metal version, like a Juan Diaz one.
Yeah. No, it's not. Oh, you mean this?
Yeah, this. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true actually. But this is the new plastic Grimaldes. That was really fun to work on. I love this miniature.
I do like the nice. I do like the models that have more pieces on. To be fair, we are now just reminiscing, which is fine. But
yeah, this is the heavy metal days, and this is it was great. And I've spoken a little bit about it before. If anyone has any specific questions about, especially if you want me to talk shit about specific people, absolutely,
we'll do that. Easy.
We'll do a whole episode. Yeah.
So if I click this button at the same time as I click that button, quick fastest race car.
Okay. Didn't we already do one? You're going to do another one?
This is for your heavy metal time. LG wrote these. Lionel wrote these. The Lionel. Yeah, because if I say LG, it's too specific. We're like anyway, fuck it. First model you ever painted, but were you proud of it? How did that, at the end of it, were you like, yeah, that's good? They won't fight.
The Namarti Thralls was the first box art I did, and I was happy enough. Yeah.
First day in the studio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Excitement or terror?
Excitement, 1000%. It's that's the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory reference again. So I won't give a very long answer. The first day I got in, I got to see all of the new Primar Space Marine stuff, all of it, and no one had seen that.
Did you get free brushes?
Yeah, loads.
One thing the studio has taught you that nobody else did, or yeah.
Ooh, that's a really good question, actually. Fucking LG. I guess efficiency, maybe, not to be too precious with some things. It definitely made me be able to like churn out paint jobs.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say quick, but efficient.
Yeah, become more factory vibe, or just the ability to know to do it. The hardest day or moment that you remember from the studio while working there?
Also a good question.
Thank you very much.
It would be hardest day or moment. Leaving, I guess. Good soppy answer.
When was the moment you knew you had to leave? Was it slow or was it sudden?
It was slow.
Yeah.
I left sort of my own accord in late 2018, and then I came back remotely and blah 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 blah. But it was slow during that time.
Did it feel freedom, or did it feel like a loss?
To leave?
To leave, yeah.
Oh, that's a very complicated answer, but short version is probably it's a massive combination of both, actually. It's a lot of I miss it still, but it was the right thing to do.
Yeah. What changed most since stepping away? So since you've stopped working in your painting?
My kind of just using whichever paints I want, I suppose, and actually trying not to just do heavy metal stuff, if that makes sense. I know I'm failing, but like I'm trying not to just stay in that wheelhouse.
I know the feeling. We are brothers in arms in that regard.
Quite.
And looking back, I mean, the answer is obviously yes. Would you do it all again?
Yeah.
Yep. Good. There you go. Fastest race car. We can jump back to the catalogs, right? I'll see you there. Hold on. Let me see how.
That was nice.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, thanks. Yeah. So screen one, could have paused it, but I thought, do you know what? I won't pause it because I'll be so efficient this time.
It was very efficient.
Thank you, buddy.
We're back to Angron. Yeah, so this is, exactly. So I was working remotely until about 2022, and then I was out properly. This is.
So now you've left the studio. you're free, you're struggling to come to terms with leaving, but you also feel great about leaving, and you're like, I want to get straight back on the saddle and fucking paint. Apparently,
yeah. What I did in early 2023, I started doing Golden Demon stuff for Manchester, Golden Demon in Manchester in May. So this, what we're looking at now, is part of one of the last things I did when I was in the studio, which was develop the color scheme and iconography for the Wolf Spear, which is the only proper Space Wolves successor chapter, the only one we've had now, because they were mentioned in a book, I think the Dark Imperium book by Guy Haley, and then we didn't really know what they looked like, and there were some like fan versions of it, and there wasn't really anything that was solid. So myself and Max, decided to just get that done, and we did it. And I think of them as like my chapter, which is not the case, but
I'll let you have it, because I'm the guy who officially says if you're allowed things or not. Was this a hard paint job, by the way?
This was no, not really. I haven't painted a lot of vehicles. It was nice for whatever reason. I really wanted to paint an Impulsor, and I thought it'd be great to do something with the Wolf Spear. When we showed them off in White Dwarf, I thought it'd be cool to do something other than just Space Marines, like more than just Marines. So I did a few different Marines as kind of a kill team, and then this thing.
And how long is this paint job taking you? Like to be
a tank like that? I don't know, 3 weeks maybe, working consistently. I think I was on and off this for a while, but yeah, most of the armor I could do pretty quickly.
I like the way I said that's good. Like, fine, it is a huge, like in my head, doing this would take, I just don't think I could do it. It would take forever. But yeah, okay, if I spent 8 hours a day, I mean, you don't work for 8 hours a day, anyone does, but let's say 4 or 5 hours painting a day.
Yeah, exactly.
So
that's another interesting thing that I kind of learned. I don't know if it's something you learned, but it's in like the back of my mind, or from the studio is what I was going to say. From working there, I now have a good idea of how long things take to paint if you paint all day every day. So for this, I would know roughly like how much. I guess the box art for this would have been close to 20 days, maybe less, maybe like 15 days.
Yeah. It's not a small amount of time, but it's not like 3 months, is it?
No, exactly. It's not endless either. Like Angron was like 42 days or something, which is, I mean, that's 8 weeks non-stop.
Yeah, it's a long time, in fairness.
So now we've moved on to the exciting realm of commission stuff. I just wanted to show some stuff I did. So yeah, did this on commission, did Asmodai on commission. I did the Lion on commission as well.
So these aren't heavy metal, actually, interestingly. Yeah, I suppose that's why they're on these bases, right?
Yeah, and because basically I was asked to paint this, and I asked the guy if he wants a display base, because I just think that looks cooler. If it's for display, then I appreciate a nice little plinth. If you want to play games with them, then like, why are you hiring me? But obviously, to each his own. And then this I did for a White Dwarf article where the heavy metal team did an Eldar Corsair, and generously they invited me, even though I had properly left. If I'm not confusing the timelines, I think I was out by then. Anyway, doesn't matter. I did it, and it was very fun, very cool. This is another commission paint job. This is interestingly, I painted the box art for this, so I just did a second one exactly the same as the first.
Easy money.
Yeah.
The time. I mean, I find it fascinating that you can, all of the painters, like, stay focused. It's just probably because I haven't painted this so long, but to paint these models with such detail, it's inspiring, because it's a real skill that I lost.
You do create a method, and I think that's, I guess, again, the efficiency I was talking about with heavy metal. It doesn't necessarily feel efficient. Like painting Helbrecht didn't feel particularly efficient. It felt a bit like a slog, but it is very much a method. It is something, or like this guy painting this in sub-assemblies, trying to copy the box art was like, how do I even start? But then you do, and you're like, well, I can put this, and it's an interesting skill overall that I'm quite pleased to have picked up, is the ability to take something like this and just figure out how to do it.
Are you like, how much do you charge? And I'm not asking for a commission. I'm like, and you don't need to go into specifics on money, but like, if you get something like this commission in, is this like a month's work, 2 months work? Like, how are you charging people? Because
I'm using like I just mentioned, the heavy metal timings for stuff it tends to be somewhat consistent. It's gone up a little bit over the years. So it used to be, maybe 15 years ago, it would be like an infantryman was 1 day, whatever that was.
Yeah.
And then when I was working there, we had different timings for different armies and stuff, but it was still consistent in terms of like, a Space Marine is a Space Marine. A Space Marine hero is similar to another Space Marine hero. So the Lion, I think I estimated about a month. Yeah, about 30 days.
Yeah, right. 30 working days. Yeah, it's quite a lot.
Yeah, exactly. 30 working days is pretty much what I charged for. So and then I charged.
Yeah, your commissions must be expensive. Well, it's relative to how rich people are, but like, it's not like, oh, I can bang that out in a week. No, it's like, I'm giving you my top quality, best thing I can do, and it comes out looking like this, right? So, because this is a very unique thing to have, I think. Like, there won't be many people in the world who have models of this standard to what they're used to seeing in magazines and stuff. So yeah, no, it's nice of you to say.
I thought about that myself, actually. This exactly what you said, that when you commission one of these models from me, you're getting the only one of its kind. You could have another heavy metal painter, another ex-heavy metal painter paint the Lion, and you'll have something that's very, very similar, of course, but it's not literally the same.
Yeah. Yep.
It's there's only one of this thing that you're looking at now, and if someone asks Arnau to do it, it will look unbelievable, but it will be Arnau painting it. So you'll hire him to get him.
It's a great way to put it. Yeah.
And what I can sort of offer, very like literally and technically, is just the box art. You can have what it looks like on the box. And I know for this one, the only real difference was the customer wanted a different base. But other than that, it was like, I wanted to look as close as possible to the box. And I know what that box art looks like, and I know who painted it. And I thought, yeah, we'll see. But that's also a fun challenge, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want commissions now? How have you done that work? Like, did you enjoy the time doing them?
I did. It's I'm a little bit on and off with commissions. I'm not like full-time doing it now, but yeah, I do enjoy the odd commission for sure. And if someone's keen to getting something, I mean, there's no harm in just writing me, and I can just ignore you.
Unless it's a good project.
I will not do that.
I definitely would. Interesting. This photo is not as good as the last. What's happening there,
Yeah, what's happening with my photos, man? I'm not proud of this. I need to get my shit together.
Well, the other ones, I know why it's happened, because when you zoom in, I think the white balance and the blah 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 changes. That's interesting.
Well, this was a fun project. This is a project I did with Edgar Skomorowski, who used to be a GW sculptor and who is awesome. And he just needed someone to paint something for him to sell. Yeah, he sculpts these things, and he wrote to me and asked me if I wanted to help him out. It was awesome. It was a great project.
It's a very cool, weird model.
It's a very cool, weird model. He's got a rocking horse. So that was also something that it's really fun to like have that. It definitely helps that both of us have worked for Games Workshop, because all it is like I just approached it like any other job that I did for Workshop, and I did the Photoshop sketches, and I sent him a bunch of ideas, and it was very much that same collaboration. Yeah,
that is cool. Which is the most modern one, right?
That's the most recent thing I've finished, which is a bust of my brother-in-law, essentially, my girlfriend's brother, who is a Muay Thai fighter and who won gold in the Swedish championship last year. And I decided, well, me and my girlfriend had a quick discussion about wouldn't it be cool to if I painted something for him, and that sort of escalated to wouldn't it be cool to commission someone to sculpt him. And then once I'd suggested that, she was like, you should totally do it. And then I thought, yeah, I should. Fuck, I've suggested it now. I got to do it. I can't just leave this hanging. So I asked Leila Khalili to help me bring this thing to life. And it took a few months to actually have it in my hand. But yeah, it was an incredible project to work on. I'm very, very, very happy I did it.
Yeah, it came out great. Like, it's weird that it's someone you actually know as well.
Very weird.
That you were literally.
I have so many like half-naked pictures of him on my phone.
That makes sense. And then what about for the model? As in, yeah, you get it. You get it. Yeah. I see. There were other photos that I didn't. Just ignore the order.
No, yeah, ignore the order. This is just the last few years.
Yeah.
We're back to these guys again. Fuck it. Just a bunch of stuff. Just a bunch of stuff that I did. I painted another commission thing. I wanted this orc. Yeah. No, I think what it is now is like I wanna not get boxed in to just doing heavy metal stuff. I also enjoy these commissions, which are very literally heavy metal stuff.
Yeah.
I did really enjoy the larger scale of that bust, and I want to try to do more of that. And I'm also obviously still heavily invested in Golden Demon, which takes a lot of time to do. The last few photos in the Golden Demon folder are of things I did after 2023, which is my Space Wolf Squad and the Dark Oath Barbarians.
Should we jump back in, Mark? Go through it quickly. Let people seamless, right? It's fucking seamless.
Seamless. If anyone wants to see, did you have any other like on your list?
I didn't do it.
Things to talk to me about, any segments or anything?
There you go. No, not really. Here we are. Oh, that's good. It kept the. I think I actually have photos of this on my blog.
Oh yeah. On your blog.
Yeah, because I went to Golden Demon from 2016. Used to take photos of all the entries, and I'm certain I took like a couple of this guy, and I liked him.
Oh wow!
So there you go. It's a compliment.
Cheers.
My pleasure.
This is from 2017. This is just before I joined Heavy Metal. I did this, and it got a silver.
This is the jewel.
Yes.
It's like, is that the sky? Good question, mate. I'm just trying to get them in the right order. I don't think I can.
This composition is so weird.
I see.
Because I was trying to stick to this idea of it has to be on a 50 mil base. So it's on a 50 mil plinth, and then I don't know. I don't think that really works, but I'm pretty happy with the models anyway.
Yeah, the paint job. I mean, it depends what you're after from a diorama, I guess. Jewel.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is a jewel, right? So
yeah, it's for the jewel category, but like that's just a small diorama.
Yeah.
I still think this looks great, but it's there it is.
It does look good,
but it's a little weird compositionally with the base and stuff.
It's just different.
And then this thing is also 2017.
Well. Was this the Heavy Metal, the Master Painter category? Yeah.
That's exactly the Heavy Metal Masters, and I got silver, which I thought was embarrassing because I was at that time an actual heavy metal painter.
Yep. Well, Stuart Thompson got bronze, and he was the happiest I've ever seen anyone in that same category.
My mindset in 2017 was a little weird when it comes to Golden Demon, because I was actually disappointed with my 2 silvers. Which is I needed to I needed to learn that lesson. I got gold for these guys, which was very, very
in the same year.
No, this was in 2019. So this was 2 years after my first heavy metal stint. I went back to Golden Demon.
Very crisp, aren't they?
And I got my first gold for these.
Sculpts seem very, very good to say.
Yeah, they're cool. That's and this was, I was very much in like heavy metal mode. I mean, nothing about this is particularly weird or exotic or creative compared to like just box art stuff.
It seems different though. It's got a little bit more relaxed from heavy metal. I don't think you'd see quite the same style It seems more refined, but also more, maybe not more refined, but more less just the same, right? Slightly zenithal, as it were.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
Like where the highlights are, and if that's what you're going for.
It was very much what I was going for. I think, maybe it's a bit of a disservice to say that it's just straight heavy metal, but that was. I
think so.
Yeah, and then that was the first time I got gold, and then I didn't win anything for a whole.
Yes.
Well, 5 years or something, and we spoke about that previously when we were talking about Golden Demon. It's like there's something useful about that. I probably needed to calm the fuck down and accept that you can't have something every year.
Yeah, unless you're good enough. No, so
literally.
It's a good way to learn, though. You in fact, it's the only way you can learn, isn't it? Be disappointed, experience shit, and then just look back and say, do you know what? I shouldn't have done that thing that I did that didn't do that thing that I want. I mean, in this case, it's not something that it's not a thing that you did. It's a thing it's how you reacted. It's like Lionel with his bronze, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we've talked a lot about this kind of disappointment and expectation and so on with Golden Demon, but I do think like I was in a weird place in 2017 going to Golden Demon and getting two silvers, and then thinking like, fuck, I really wish I had a gold. Yeah. But I guess it was because I had gotten silver every year for like 5 years. I got at least
you just wanted to jump up, right?
Yeah, I just wanted that jump up. So to be fair, it was every time someone says you were this close to getting gold, I was like, you're not helping. All you're saying is that someone was that much better than me.
Yeah, and they were, I guess.
And they were, yeah.
But
if
subjectively,
you said they were way better, you had no chance. I was like, cool, good. That's at least we're there,
Yeah, I mean, that's a whole episode, isn't it? Competition.
But yeah, to summarize my whole life, this is how you become an heavy metal painter. I thought for the longest time that it was all about being good enough as a painter, just being able to copy the heavy metal style accurately enough. And I realized almost immediately when I started working there that it was so much more about being an easy to deal with person and being collaborative and being like a good employee and a good coworker, all of that stuff.
But with the base level of being able to paint, like I'm not walking in there.
Yeah.
So there is a level, but then after that, I guess it's the.
And then the level, if you're not quite there, you will get there very quickly when you start working there because you're painting all day, every day.
Yeah, you have to really like painting.
I guess I kind of do.
Okay. Thought of the day.
Okay, 7. I know you've got a few on your list now, so I'm going 7.
I do. You're lucky. I'm just trying to understand it. So, this was the one I wrote most recently. So, when I've over a few. Minstrel. When I've minstrel. This is good content, but just fuck a minute.
Yeah, this is great content.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this and not watching this, you've missed out on a lot of photos, and right now we're not even saying anything. So
the other closes. This must have been a dream. I must have been writing this when I was like lucid or some shit.
I want to know it even more now. You have to say whatever it says.
When I've minstrel is closed, but then over a few seconds the other closes and the previously closed one opens.
The fuck?
Minstrel. It must be my typing. A dream, an opportunity. I mean, this thought of the day is
opens, another one closes.
Yeah, true.
Like
oh shit!
When one door menstruates, you have no idea what you're trying to say.
Minstrel.
A minstrel is.
It's the chocolate.
Yeah.
This is wait. MS Mistral. Ministrel. Whatever. Sometimes I'm overwhelmed by. Oh, it's a bit gay to be fair, but I'll paint you the scene. Okay, I'm driving in the road on a car. I'm in a car driving on the road, And I look out the window.
What a scene. Yeah.
And there's just this beautiful field with trees. And there's just some people walking on the field and then birds flying over the top, right? And I'm like, it happens every time I drive over when there's countryside and stuff. And I'm like, just how amazingly beautiful the world is. There's so much scenes and then it got me thinking, because I have this all the time, and it's annoying, because then I get some sort of like euphoria from it, and I'm like, is it beautiful, or is it just that humans have like evolved to see these things? Like, why would I like countryside and somebody else like looking at a beautiful architecture? Someone likes this thing and another person likes this thing. Like, is it just that we evolved to like grass and trees and these things, or is it what you're sort of taught to like? Do you know what I mean? Take some kid out of India who's never seen anything but his slum and put him in the countryside of England. Is he going to be like, oh shit, that's amazing? Or is he just going to be happy that he's out of the slums?
It's a good question. I think, good. I think there's a bit of everything here. I think there's a little bit of a biological connection. So like sorry, this is the start of the day. You don't want my answer.
No, let's dive in.
You have a capacity for what?
Let's dive in.
You have a capacity for being happy. I appreciate that. I think there's a biological connection to things like grass and a blue sky, which is like, that's, it's actually good.
Life, isn't
like,
it? And
sustaining.
Life,
And I guess if we were, nomad Homo erectus creatures just wandering the plains, we would think grass, that's healthy.
It's
things
better
are living
than
there.
like just actual shit on the floor.
Things will grow there. We can eat them. That's a good thing. Yeah, exactly. But then I think when you said architecture, I feel like that might be a case of people like architecture partly because maybe they like order, maybe like they like the design of things,
engineering,
things that is engineering, things that are controlled, which is an entirely different thing. But that might be, as you say, taught. But I think there might be a little bit of an instinct there as well. Like I can really appreciate, a Victorian train station, and it's weird. Like, why would I like that? But it's because of a billion reasons. I think there's loads of things that I connect to that.
It doesn't uplift me though. I see some stuff that's beautiful, and I don't feel like everything's right in the world. Kind of vibe. Do you know what I mean? I'm not like when I'm.
You do or you don't.
I don't when I see the when I'm in the when I have these. Yeah, when I have these scenes, these moments where I'm like, fuck, man, just like. How has life gifted us all these things that we're seeing? Like, even when my wife's arguing with me, right? I'll just break out of the argument. I'll be like I somehow love that she cares so much to argue with me, or just like the fact that we've got an opportunity to even argue. It's an amazing situation, right? Like how
healthy.
Well, it can be. It can also be a very annoying for the other party. I tell you,
very fucking derailing and annoying. Yeah,
I try and keep those feelings in. To be honest with you, and then sometimes she say, like, "Why are you smiling?" And I'll be like, "Fuck, I have to explain it now." But it also, I asked Roman Lepet. He's French in this accent. Romain Lepet.
He can be Romain Lepet. Okay.
Why do colors have the meanings they have? Right, and I think I've found the answer. Why is it that?
Did he ever stop talking, or did he answer that question until he passed out?
He stopped.
I feel like he would have a lot to say on that subject.
He literally he was given a thing, and I put my hand up. He says, "Yes, please," because he's French. And he thought about it, and he was like, he must have literally not said anything for 30 seconds. And then he said, "I don't know." He said, that is a good question. He said, I've never not answered the question. And he was like, oh, wow, okay. And then he carried on with his lesson. And that was like 7 years ago.
You've met him since. You should ask for a follow-up.
If he remembers, I doubt he remembers. I have met him. Like, I know him now, whereas at that time I didn't know him, right? But It must be to
sorry.
do.
So the question was, why do we associate colors the way we do? Is that
Well,
it? Like,
I think he said like red is to do with anger and fire, or maybe less explicit because it was more an abstract question.
Yeah,
but
because I mean there are those things as well. I know that like green is calming, and again,
exactly.
I don't see that as being very strange because it's
just
green
to
is
do with our
nature,
evolution, right? Like
it's healthy, yeah.
But like the
and
fact
red,
that purple,
fire and blood are both red. Sorry, the fact that purple,
but like fire makes sense. Red makes sense because it's dangerous. But then you also have crossovers, right? Like brown is mud, but it's also if you have it in the wrong connotation, it's sick and evil, not evil, but like decay.
No, but it could be rot. Yeah, like moldy and rotting. Yeah,
and so it's kind of context. Because you could have green in a river, and that means mildew and algae, and you can't fucking drink it; you'll die. But you have green moss on a scene, and somehow it looks more healthy. Leaves are green. Anyway, I think that's why I like these scenes, but I don't always get them in these scenes. I get those feelings of how if you can see it somehow, the world generally is beautiful. Living in the city, I see it a lot less. Because it's just fucking miserable and shit and grey, isn't it? People are annoyed they're even alive in the city, to be honest with you.
You know, I was going to ask you what there is to do in the city where you are, which is classified. And I realized that you're just going to shrug and be like, nothing.
Literally nothing. I live in my room, which I'm grateful for.
Yeah.
Thought of the day. Thank you for your journey, Martin. I realized...
Thank you for listening.
It was much more... didn't get an idea on like how to become a heavy metal painter, really. I think that's the title's going to be a lie for sure.
But that's the whole. I mean, we do bullshit a lot in this podcast,
and rightly so.
Yeah. I think our 6 listeners will be that much more learned now in terms of just life in general. Like now you know more. Now you can go with your own journey and become a heavy metal painter yourselves.
And the irony is you can only do that if you're a kid. I really enjoyed the getting to know you better, realistically, and understanding where everything's been. I think weirdly that is a part of our relationship that I didn't know I missed. So you should probably do mine soon.
We will do yours soon, and it'll be amazing. We need our now for that, though. We need more questions.
We also need me to paint, because that is a very short story.
No. See, it's not though, because we mentioned briefly in my journey that we just were on the years where I was not really painting much.
Yeah, that's true.
Also part of the journey, and you said that you got into this bullshit, potentially. But we did mention that you got into this the same time that I did. When you were a wee boy.
Yeah, I would probably talk.
Full of hair.
I would have, definitely. I mean, I'm like at 14. You don't see many bald 13, 14-year-olds, do you? That would be good. Right, Martin, thank you all.
It's been good.
Thank you for the 6 of you. Please show your patronism by backing the Patreon and joining the Discord.